as you guys know, I have a Tesla, and one comment I kept getting on my Tesla videos that really shocked me was the importance that people place on road trips. Everyone seems to think that you can't take this car on a road trip, it just wouldn't work. With articles claiming it takes 13 hours to drive to Vegas and back, people are getting confused. So I'm gonna set the record straight and take my Tesla on a 900-mile round-trip road trip. So the fastest route to get there, according to my phone, if you're taking a normal ICE car, it's gonna be 7 hours and 13 minutes. So this is a solid road trip. This is really, I think, long enough to test out how this car is on a road trip. So when we use the navigation on my car, it will actually find us a route with superchargers. So that's what I'm typing in right now. South Lake Tahoe. So the car routed us and said we'd have to stop 3 times and it would take a total of 8 hours. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, when it really came down to it, when the road trip was the next day, I was texting the group being like, are we sure we want to take my car? Because I don't know how long this is actually gonna take. Like, this might take forever if we have to stop and charge for 40 minutes each time. Janine, let's just take your car. Yeah. But everyone seemed more than happy to test it out in my car anyway, so we went for it. Tessa's first road trip. Janine didn't realize how long the trip is.
I thought it was like a 6-hour drive, and then it turns out it's 8 hours and 20 minutes.
Janine's like, can I go?
I was like, all right, baby.
Something that's really cool is that there's a whole extra storage compartment under here. The 4 of us were able to comfortably fit ourselves and all of our stuff thanks to the frunk and the extra space in the trunk since it doesn't have a spare tire. So up here I was able to fit an extra blanket. Yes, it's in a garbage bag. The car charger. There's even a little more room actually. And then we were on the road. It had us drive about an hour and a half to our first stop, which was honestly perfect because I didn't really eat breakfast, so I was trying to beat traffic and then get a snack, you feel me? We made it to the first stop with 50 miles to spare, so I wasn't worried at any point about running out of battery. The supercharger stations in LA can get pretty busy though, so I was a little nervous we might have to wait for a stall, which would increase our road trip time and just be annoying. Okay, we just made it to our first supercharger spot. We're like maybe an hour and a half outside of LA. That's where it mapped us to. This is like the Mojave Tesla supercharger station. Yeah, there's only 2 other cars charging here. So I was able to go to this one so that it charges faster because it's not sharing it with another car. So yeah, it's only gonna take 20 minutes to charge up. We're gonna explore what's at this charging station because the ones in LA are like at malls. And this one's pretty random, I will say. They've got like a little Anthony's Grill Mexican food that's kind of good. Yeah. I was really shocked with how little time it really took. For some reason, I just didn't believe that would only be 20 minutes. But in 20 minutes, I would have 100 to 150 more miles, enough to continue on my trip. Most people were concerned and thought it would be really annoying, but like, so far, I'm not really annoyed that we had to stop right
Yeah, no, I think we needed to anyway, and like, we all had to pee. And
everyone was like, wanted to get a snack. I heard a rumor, this probably isn't like the safest thing to do, but I just want to test it and then like not do it ever again, that if you get an orange and you put it on the steering wheel, the Tesla thinks that it's your hand, so you don't have to have your hand on the car during autopilot. So we're gonna test that out. We have 5 minutes remaining, so it really hasn't been too bad. First road trip stop was successful. Another interesting factor to this road trip is the cost difference between driving a Tesla and driving an ICE car. A lot of people assume that supercharging is free, and it's actually not free. My supercharging did end up being free because I used a referral link to get 1,000 free miles when I got a Tesla. I'll link mine below if you guys want to use it. But let's take a look at the cost of what it would be if I had used up all my miles. So the other option was to take one of my friend's cars, and it is an Audi Q5. So with 27 miles per gallon, that would be about $18.81. And we can see at the Tesla supercharger, it was only $7.56. Charging is done, so we'll just stick that back in there. So in total, only 20 minutes and we were ready to hit the road again. It then routed us to drive another a little under 2 hours to our next stop, which was in Lone Pine, California. Actually, so pretty, these hills over here. So this supercharger stop was right by a film history museum. Kind of random, but it was actually kind of fun to look inside. actually really cool.
This is so random and I love it.
There's also a little cafe nearby, so I think I'm gonna go get some coffee. Other than that though, that's pretty much all there is by this one. We made it to this supercharger spot with like 45 miles to spare. So again, wasn't at all worried about like running out of battery or anything. At this supercharger, we got 145 miles in 20 minutes and it cost us $8.68. And the gas prices in this area would have cost us $23.03. So again, the Tesla is significantly cheaper to fill up. I had autopilot on probably 90% of the trip, which made it so easy to drive. I actually ended up driving the entire 8 hours there. I just didn't get that driver fatigue at all because we were stopping every couple hours and the car was really doing most of the work. So I'm really like not doing anything. I have to keep my hand on the wheel. When my hand's on the wheel like this, it'll always be like, oh, move it, like to make sure that I'm holding it. Like it doesn't like feel my hand, so I have to go like that when it's like my hand is on the wheel.
No chilling?
I was just monitoring it, making sure it was all good, but it takes the stress out of driving. Charging stop number 3. This is our final stop before we get there. So yeah, we made it here again with like a good like 50 miles. I will say this has definitely been my favorite stop thus far. It's so pretty over here. We found a really cool restaurant to eat at that we would not have found just on the side of the road. We had to drive like probably a mile into the town. And my hair is flying everywhere. So the car has about 190 miles right now, and we need to go 140 more. So we should be totally fine. Recently, someone mentioned to me that you can actually use an orange to trick your car into thinking your hand is still on the steering wheel.
My hands are so stiff. Is it like really, really?
I'm just gonna say, don't try this at home. And we really just did this one time to see if it would work and then never again. And I'll take my hands off. We'll see if it yells at me for not having my hands on.
So far it's not.
That's a call.
Oh my gosh. They'd be like, what are you doing? It's not saying anything.
I'll have my hand really close by though. Take it safe. I think it worked.
Dude, that's insane.
It doesn't care. Actually, shortly after this, it started to prompt me to put my hand on the steering wheel again. So the orange on the steering wheel didn't really work for us. And when I went online and actually saw on YouTube, they did a totally different method. They kind of just like pushed the orange up against the steering wheel. So maybe it would work that way. Either way, I don't really think you should try it out. We just wanted to try it for the video. The final stretch was from Mammoth to South Lake Tahoe, which was 139 miles. So in total, we drove 430 miles there. It took us a little over 8 hours and cost $25.14 for our supercharger stops. Comparing that to gas, which would have likely been over $70 for this trip one way. And we made it! With 50 miles to spare. What do you guys think of the Tesla road trip? I thought it was nice.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
Every time we had to stop, it was like, oh, this is perfect timing. We needed it.
Yeah,
you know?
we all were like, I'm kind of hungry anyway.
Yep.
And then honestly, usually by the time we could get going again, I was like, actually, I need like 5 more minutes. Oh my god. This is gorgeous.
Oh, there is a jacuzzi.
Oh my god, a bear! No, I'm kidding, I wish.
You freaking got me.
Did you really think? Yes. Oh, hot tub, that's what's up. Since we were staying in an Airbnb house, I was actually able to charge the car overnight just for free because I was using the electricity at the house. But it was really convenient to be able to just charge at home rather than, going to a gas station. All in all, a Tesla road trip is not miserable and it doesn't take a long time to charge. It added an extra hour to our road trip, but seeing as we were already going on a 7-hour road trip, that's not that bad. You would stop to refuel, probably get food for an hour anyway, so we didn't really mind. Personally, I really didn't mind it, but I guess if you really wanted to get somewhere faster, it's definitely not the fastest possible way. I will say on the way back, there was one point where we would have run out of electricity if we did the route it told us to. So our next supercharger is in 174 miles, but we only have 181 miles of battery, so it's gonna be tight of whether or not we make it. Yeah, but we'll see, because when we go down these mountains, the battery charges a little more or something like that.
Later.
So we officially, at this point, don't have enough battery to make it all the way there. Interesting thing, so we went up a lot of hills in this mountain I'm on autopilot, by the way, so yeah. So we went up a lot of hills in this mountain and lost a lot of battery. Like initially we would have had it like an extra 20 miles. The amount kept going down. So then we had only 10 miles to spare, then 5. But now that we're going downhill, we're gaining it back. So we actually might still be able to make it, but it is making me nervous because at points it says we don't have enough battery to get there. But we were able to route to a closer supercharger, so it was all good. We just stopped at the Mammoth supercharging point. I mapped it out if we had tried to go all the way to the Long Pine one like it originally wanted us to, and we wouldn't have made it. We would have been like 4 miles short. I don't know, but it depends. If we had gone downhill more, we probably would have. It was like fluctuating a lot actually, but glad we got to this one. Ultimately, I wanted to stay on the safe side, so I had the car just route us to a closer supercharger, and it was no problem. You guys, there are so many superchargers all across the US and Canada, so chances are you're close by a supercharger. So to conclude, the road trip did take a little bit longer, but not nearly as long as these anti-electric vehicle articles claim they take. It was definitely cheaper than gas, and overall, it was a good experience. I would totally do it again. Alright, hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'll link below my other Tesla videos if you guys are interested in them, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
People are gonna know you as like the orange girl because you're just gonna bring an orange everywhere you go.
Alright.
Yesterday, we had a slight problem. Actually, big issue. Huge issue. This is terrible, terrible. The car would not connect to any of our phones, so we had to listen to the radio, and it was so terrible. Oh my god. Yesterday, we just dealt with it, couldn't really figure out what to do. I just went down to my car, Googled how to fix it, I reset it, you just press down on the steering wheel, and now it's all good, it works again. Thank God. Having to make a video with that.
Vlogging.
I'm about to tell people like, yeah, back when I started YouTube.
Back in our day 10 years ago. This is how we started.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's a spider right where the charger is. Oh